Good day, and welcome to Workplace TV, the first stop towards finding solutions to workplace issues, whether you're an employee or an employer. My name is Ricardo Granderson, and today I am honored and excited to be interviewing Dean Anthony Crowell. Welcome, Anthony.
Great to be with you, Ricardo.
Anthony, I understand that there are exciting things happening at the evening division of the law school, but before we address that, I'd like for you to give our viewers a sense as to who Anthony Crowell is, where you're from, where you went to college, where you went to law school, and what was it about aspiring to be a dean? What was it that piqued your interest and motivated you to become a dean of a law school?
Sure. So I grew up in the New York City suburbs in Monmouth County, New Jersey. I grew up the son of a state trooper, and my mother was a secretary for a colonel in the United States Army at Fort Monmouth. And somewhat of a traditional, if you may, suburban experience growing up, but I was the first in my family to go to college. I studied urban policy and planning. I graduated from the University of Pennsylvania and then moved on to study law at American University while working full-time as in policy analysis and government relations for an organization called the International City and County Management Association.
Right.
That was a great experience, and I really, I think, flourished as a result of balancing both full-time work and what I wasn't learning on the job, I was learning in the classroom, and certainly bringing my classroom experiences back to work with me. And going to law school in Washington was an extraordinary opportunity. But public service was always in my blood, and I thought that the best move for me in terms of my full-time legal career once I graduated law school, instead of working on behalf of 10,000 cities, I thought it would be great to work for one city. And if you're going to work for one city, you might as well aim high. And so I joined New York City government in the city law department as an assistant corporation counsel.
Excellent. Well, you said something interesting, and I just want to think about it for a second. You said that you were the first in your family to go off to college. You should know that I am as well. My father was not an educated man. My mother was not that educated, and so we have that in common. So I'm certain that anyone who watches this particular video, maybe you have students here right now, I'm sure you have first generation, that they will continue to be motivated and be inspired by you. So now,
so I will say, to your point, we have a third of our students are first in their family to college. It's one of the many reasons why this job resonates so well with me and why I love it so much. It's an extraordinary group of students. They're extremely passionate, extremely motivated, the grit, the tenacity.
right.
It's great. And I would argue that while some parents may not have formal education, what they inspire in their children in terms of that work ethic and that, that reaching far and wide is it's an amazing thing.
Absolutely, I agree. So now, without further ado, you can tell us about the evening program and some of the milestones that you've been able to achieve here at New York Law School.
Sure. So I became dean of the law school in 2012 after having served as counselor to Mayor Michael Bloomberg for more than a decade. And that was a position I took after serving at the city law department for 4 years. But being in the Bloomberg administration post 9/11 was an extraordinarily challenging but extremely rewarding time in public service. And it was during those years immediately after law school that I began teaching as an adjunct professor, first at Brooklyn Law School and then at New York Law School, where I taught for 9 years before becoming dean. And there was something about New York Law School. New York Law School is 128 years old this year. It is part of the blood of New York City. I would say that no law school's graduates have done more to build modern New York than New York Law School. it's really quite an extraordinary place if you look at that history and if you look at our location being downtown, currently in Tribeca, but we're always in downtown, first right off of Wall Street at the Equitable Building on Broadway, and then on William Street, at the current site of One Police Plaza, and now here in Tribeca. But the connection, the immediacy to the civic sector is unparalleled, as well as to Wall Street, the tech sector. And I look out my office window and I'm inspired every day looking at the state courthouse for the Supreme Court of New York County, as well as I look at the federal courthouse and 26 Federal Plaza, where so much of the work of this law school is done in the administrative courts and offices there at the federal level. State offices are here, and the banking industry. I like to say that the sun rises and 26 Federal Plaza's shadow is cast on our building, and as the sun sets, a shadow is cast on us by Citibank's world headquarters. And it's an inspiring set of bookends for the range of social and economic activities that lawyers have such an influential role in shaping.
Excellent, excellent. And what can you tell us about the evening program?
Sure. So our school is, as I said, 128 years old. This year, our evening division celebrates its 125th anniversary, making it one of the oldest, obviously, in the country. And it is an extraordinary program giving opportunities for students from non-traditional backgrounds, students who may go back to college later in life, or who may graduate from college, work for a number of years, and then come back for a graduate education in law. Many of our students are parents. Many of our students have had long careers in other significant professions, including medicine, other aspects of the law, whether they were they did paralegal work or they worked in auditing and accounting, things that were related to some forensics that related to litigation. So it's a real blend and real diversity of talent and people in the evening division.
And if someone who's sitting at home and they have a family, they're in the middle of a career or thinking about transitioning into the law, but their current workload is such that the evening schedule may be more aligned with their particular needs, how would that person go about either applying or accessing the evening division?
So the evening division is what I like to say very user-friendly. First and foremost, I think people who are considering the law, and there's really never been a time in recent memory where going to law school could be more impactful. We are right now experiencing not only questions about the rule of law and regulatory state, the administrative state, within our own borders in the US, but it's a global situation where we're seeing a lot of interesting legal questions that arise from in a variety of contexts, and that question the rule of law. And the evening division is quite accommodating for students who are passionate about redefining themselves within the law by either diversifying what they do on a daily basis or taking on new challenges and taking on a new career altogether. I think our culture is one that is extremely warm and welcoming. I think that's an important factor for people to consider when they're looking at an evening division. It is flexible. The faculty who teach in our program are not only experts in the law, but in practice. They have a very broad array of experiences and networks and on-ramps that help evening division students, but it is a community unto itself within the larger New York Law School community, and it's really quite tremendous. As an evening division student myself, and there's only 2 deans in the United States who are graduates of evening divisions, I take great pride and great strides in making sure that ours is offering the very best program possible. So it's for someone who wants to go to law school and wants to graduate from an evening program. First, they need a college degree. They'll need to review taking the LSAT and take the LSAT. And we offer programs that can assist students in learning more about a pre-law program or an LSAT prep program. And we're happy to organize that by calling our admissions office or looking at our website at nyls.edu. One of the things that is really great about the program is it allows students who are interested in coming here to visit and attend whatever classes they might want to. After the required curriculum, which is the first 2 years of the program, students begin to take elective courses. They actually start to take elective courses in their second year, but there are some required courses in the second year. And they can take summer courses, but they get the full complement of courses that are offered for full-time students in the evening program. It's just over a 4-year track instead of a 3-year track.
Right. Well, that information has been extremely helpful. Our viewers have learned that they can access the law school via its website, can visit the classes, that you can get information to help them to prepare for the LSAT. These are wonderful services that the law school offers. Just one question before we end. Are you doing anything in particular in the evening division to celebrate the 125 years?
Sure. We are ensuring that the evening division is one that is one for the ages. We're looking at building what we'll call the evening division for the 21st century, making sure it is as technologically sophisticated as possible, making sure that it is as compatible with the way that we as working professionals work today. And we're engaging our community. We have graduates from the evening division who date back as far as the 1950s and 60s. And we're doing a bit of a retrospective, understanding their perspectives on the program right up into the modern day, understanding what today's most recent graduates think about the program and what they would see for our future. And there's a great deal of investment and enthusiasm. And so learning from this range of perspectives will allow us to build an even better program. I'd like to say that we are very responsive to the needs of the day, and we're committed to giving our students the very best opportunities possible. I'll also mention that our school, as I said, is one-third of the student population are first in their family to college. We have a really great program that supports first-gen students. 60% of our students are women. 35% of our students are racially or ethnically diverse. We have more than 35 languages spoken in our first-year class alone. This represents New York. When we say we are New York's law school, we stand by that. We feel like New York, we look like New York, we are New York, and we build New York. It's a really extraordinary place. So I welcome anyone to reach out to me personally or to reach out to the school to learn more how to pursue a degree with us and how to grow.
I have to tell you, Dean Crowell, that the way you describe law school makes me, at 56, want to think about going back to law school, and particularly in the evening program. In any event, thank you very much, Dean Crowell, for being with us here at Workplace TV. And thank you, the viewers, for watching Workplace TV, the first stop towards finding solutions to workplace challenges, whether you are an employee or an employer. Be well and be successful.